Welcome to Beyond This, the podcast where we explore the space between life, growth, and spirituality. If we haven't met before, my name is Matilda. I am a professional psychic medium based here in Australia, in central Victoria, and I've been doing this work for well over 20 years. Today, we are going to talk about compassion without conditions. Many of you will have seen the social experiment that the lady on social media has been doing, where she's been phoning churches. I want to talk about that in depth and a few things that relate to that around spirituality. What a week it's been. It's been very busy here. Apologies, I missed last week's podcast episode. It is recorded. I had severe technical issues and severe shortness of patience issues to sort said technical issues. I've had to move my little cubby around quite a bit. This is actually my bedroom. You can see the fireplace behind it. I am now down to one room during the renovations that are going on in my home. And I was really conceited and thought, yeah, I'll manage. It's all going to be fine. I don't know what I was thinking. I've had to move half my belongings to a storage unit. It will all be worth it. But my goodness, has it been stressful. And add to that a new dog who is less than settled. So if you hear him chomping in the background, I've had to supply him with his bone, one of those nylabone things dipped in peanut butter, as well as a dentist stick. And I'm hoping it lasts him, well, maybe 5 minutes of today. Had a very interesting weekend. For those of you that have been along the journey for the last couple of years of the podcast, in April this year, I had John Edward on the podcast where we talked about the signs you get from spirit, about the fact that you don't always need a medium. Go back and listen to that if you haven't heard that episode. And during the episode, I told him that he had to come to Bendigo. Bendigo is central Victoria. It's a city because we have a cathedral. But many people bypass Bendigo. And he took my words on board and he booked 2 shows, which were this weekend. I was lucky enough to go along to the one on Saturday. He gave me a bit of a shout out, which I wasn't expecting. So thank you, John. But yeah, that was the busy time on the weekend, as well as breaking down a whole room. So yeah, that was exciting. And he was really kind and sort of waited around and we got together. I met John before. That wasn't the first time I got to meet him. I met him a couple of weeks ago when he first arrived back in Australia. And we caught up and had a chat. So a lot of people said, what's it like? I can imagine the conversation. It is just, it's like 2 people that have the same profession. So like 2 bankers or 2 teachers that get together and talk about their work. It's very much the same, but he is a very kind, very generous person. And his vice president of John Edward, Kat, was also delightful. So that was a wonderful weekend. But let's talk about today's topic. Recently a video on TikTok, or several videos on TikTok, went viral, and a woman struggling to feed her baby, pseudo baby, and that baby is crying in the background, called well over 30 churches and asked for help to buy her baby formula. And time after time, she was turned away. No questions asked, no kindness offered, just a policy and polite excuses. It wasn't about religion. I want to make that really clear. It is about humanity. And it struck something really deep in many of us. This episode isn't about judgment. It's about reflection, about what happens when kindness meets conviction, and how we can respond from love, even when we don't agree, understand, or approve of someone else's choices or lifestyle. That's what the last 5 or so years has really struck me. There are many people out there that we don't approve of their lifestyle choices, but they're their choices. And it is not for us to judge. Let's start here with compassion is easier when we agree with someone. When we can relate to their pain or understand their story. I'm going to cause a bit of controversy here because there's two sides to that story. There are many people that I have watched who suffer. They suffer because of who they are, because of what they believe in, because of their sexuality, because for much of their life they have felt as if they are either in the wrong body or they are not living the life that they want to live. And when they change that, they get criticized, they get judgment. But really sadly, I have seen many of those judge others without compassion. And that's where we need to learn to meet people halfway. It's about when we don't understand someone's journey. What about when their choices make us uncomfortable, or when we think, well, they should have done better? In that moment, our ego speaks. It wants to decide who is worthy of grace. But love, divine love, doesn't need a reason. The Bible reminds us of this truth again and again. Now, many people are surprised to know that I have studied theology, I did do it at school actually, but not as my main point of study, but I've always had a really deep interest in religion and not just Christianity. Matthew 25:40, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. Jesus doesn't say I was hungry and you checked my background first. He said you fed me. Luke 6:32-36, love your enemies and do good, expecting nothing in return. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Why can I pull these out and those that are real Christians or claim to be real Christians can't? If a brother or sister is without clothing and in need of daily food, and one of us says, go in peace, be warm and filled, yet you do not give them what is necessary for their body, what use is that? These verses are not about convenience. They're about conviction. When that woman from church to church went church to church, people weren't cruel. They were cautious. They followed rules and policies and maybe even fears of being taken advantage of. But compassion isn't about being comfortable. It's about being present. The lesson here isn't to criticize those who said no. It's to ask ourselves, when have I said no to love because it challenged my beliefs? When have I looked away because someone's pain made me uneasy? When was the last time I offered to help only to those I agreed with? What sort of person would that make me? What sort of teacher would that make me? Do I withhold my mediumship ability that can heal someone of loss or at least help with their grief if they don't have the same political beliefs as me? No. No, I don't. How does my faith or spirituality call me to extend grace when I don't understand. Well, it just does. I know to step out of ego. What fears or judgments stop you from helping freely? That's a huge question to ask. Are you still happy to see someone suffer because they may have chosen a different political party? We are looking at building a community rather than buying into division. That woman may never meet those who refused her, but her story has now reached millions, teaching more about compassion than any sermon, any speech can. That's the ripple effect of one moment of need. We are all being called to choose differently, to choose love over logic. It is the only thing that is going to be able to unite our world. To see that the face of divinity lives in every person we meet, especially in those who test our patience and challenge our comfort. I'm going to do a quick guided meditation that is based around the heart of compassion. Don't do this meditation if you are driving. Save it for later. Do it when you are in a comfortable, safe space. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let the world fall away for a moment. Feel your feet connected to the ground below you. You are steady, supported, safe. Bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly. And feel your breath rise and fall. You are here. You are alive. And you are part of something greater. Now imagine a soft golden light glowing within your chest. It is warm. It is radiant and it is full of love. With each breath, it grows a little brighter. This is compassion. It has always lived inside you. Let that light move around through your heart and into your body, softening every space that feels tight, tender, or tired. Let it reach your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Let it travel down through your spine, through your legs, to the soles of your feet. As this light fills you, whisper silently to yourself, I am safe to love. I am safe to care. And I am safe to see the good in others. Now imagine that golden light expanding outward, reaching beyond your body. See it flow toward the people you love. Their faces soften in the glow. Their hearts respond in kind. And now send that light towards someone you struggle with. Someone who has hurt you, disappointed you, or someone whose story you do not understand. You don't need to fix them or agree with them. Just let the light touch them. Let compassion do the work. Feel the warmth of forgiveness begin to form. Not the kind that excuses, but the kind that frees. Every time we forgive, we create space for love to live again. Now expand your awareness further. Imagine that golden light wrapping around your neighborhood, your city, the world itself. Billions of hearts connected by a single thread of compassion. Each heartbeat is a prayer for peace. Each breath a reminder that we are all one. Stay in this moment. Feel your breath deepen. Feel the warmth of love move through you again and again. You are the embodiment of divine compassion, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Now take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine that golden light settling into your heart like a steady flame, one that will guide you forward. Now whisper, I choose compassion. I choose grace. I choose love without condition. And when you are ready, gently return to this space. Wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, and carry this energy with you. Because this is where compassion begins, in the quiet willingness of one open heart. And we're now going to give our Patreon shout-outs. Thank you, everyone that has joined Patreon in the last week. If you don't know about Patreon, it is the platform where I get to support you in different ways. My predictions are always a lot more in depth. I am on chats. Yesterday, we had our monthly coffee morning. We had 80 people in the coffee morning yesterday, which is amazing. And they all get to ask their spiritual questions or their current affair questions. And if I have the answer, I am going to give it to you. We have various different levels. It starts at $5 where you get the newsletter and you sponsor this podcast. We have our silver cordons, our cordon stirrers, sorry, as well as our magnificent manifestors. And now the magnificent manifestors, we are partway through our money manifesting for November. And we're going to have our meeting about that coming up, where you will get to ask your manifesting questions. And I am coming out with a new Patreon level to start in December. If you are a member of my Metaphysical Mavens, that one is slowly becoming defunct because nobody is taking part. So I needed to chivvy things on a bit more, and I'm going to have an open circle for those wanting to develop their connection with their guides. That's what I've got to say about Patreon. If you don't know, Patreon has lots of discounts for my readings. That's the important thing that people don't remember is some of them, there's $100 off of some readings. You get early access to all my readings because they book out really quickly. And you get more access to me. So this week, we need to thank Hyper Mikey. Thank you. You've joined for 12 months. Gigi, Bianca Menez, Nan53, Deb Waldron, Dana, and Luca. Thank you for being part of my Patreon. Please make sure you check the collections. They are really important because that is where you get all of the juicy things that I've already released. So thank you very much to all of my Patreons and welcome to the new members. Well, last week's episode got missed, along with some predictions that didn't get out there. But I will talk about the ones that I have made on social media. I like to come into a little bit more depth on here, but some of them have already happened. Travel chaos was one of them. I think that's going to extend. I know a lot of people think that that's going to be over with the shutdown being over. I think that that's going to extend a little bit longer than it wants to or should. There was one that I made for an airport chaos or an airport disaster. That happened like literally less than 48 hours after my prediction. Excuse me. And that was the UPS plane, which was just devastating and terrible. Early snow in areas debilitating, heavy, unusual. We're looking at Tennessee has already got that. There are many other places, but I think there's more to come. The last week of November, if you are traveling for Thanksgiving, be prepared for delays because of weather. Floods globally, again, that's happened. I did make a specific prediction around the Philippines, and that very sadly has happened. Vietnam also has happened. I talked about JD Vance tries to fix his reputation, but it gets worse. He is about to do something really stupid. I don't know whether he appears on a talk show, a chat show. It's something where he's got to be quite affable and he comes across as an asshole. And yeah, he's trying to fix something. He's trying to put an end to a narrative. And it's just going to backfire on him. Mass unrest, that's about to come. And you know what? It's going to come because the Democrats have folded. They've bent over. They have bent the knee. That's about to come. But mass unrest did happen in the United Kingdom. And I did say that United Kingdom was about to face that. Was last month's predictions for this month. Royal family death, I believe that it'll be someone that, I'm going to say that the man formerly known as Prince. That's all I've got on that. Administration in the USA faces legal consequences. Again, that's happened today. The First Circuit have told them they have to pay SNAP benefits. I don't think they've got the money, and I think the Democrats have bent over to test them on that and test them to see if they will come together and come to the party, because it feels that the Republicans want to push back on what the Dems are offering. It's a real game of chess, and none of them are coming out on top at the moment. Stock market dip. I believe that there is about to be a crash in the USA before January. I'm going to say February, just to, I just think it's going to get worse. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like the stock market, the financial side of things, is going to get worse. My new predictions, those are the ones that I have made on social media. The new ones that I have is political unrest and a vote of no confidence. I feel like that is coming in. I do feel like Australia, New Zealand. I'm not sure which. I'm more drawn to New Zealand. There's just like a political unrest, like somebody gets unseated. I don't think Albo's going just yet. But he's about to face something really embarrassing. Jacinta Allen, I think, will have to resign there'll be a vote of no confidence with her. She's not doing what she needs to be doing. That's in Victoria. If you don't know, that's our premier here in Victoria. There's going to be another plane crash. It feels like a small plane crash, and it's going to be carrying someone of note, someone, royalty, actress, actor, could be an actor and an actress. It feels like there is a plane crash carrying someone really famous, and it's not going to be good. I can't get a location, but I am giving you that. I also see that Obama is going to make an announcement or a threat. An announcement or a threat. That one could be interesting. Jack Smith is interesting because I spoke about 2 months ago about Jack Smith suddenly becoming more prominent and threatening more legal action. And that has just happened. I must find that video. That has just happened. And I feel like there's more to come from him. Somebody is pressing charges against the current administration. Like it's a real shock, or they're using strange wording. It's like, I want to say that they're using an old law against the current administration or somebody in the current administration. Weather-wise, we are looking at wind globally causing mass damages. I also see a ship of note going over, sinking, being capsized, or a ship with somebody of note on it. Gee, if you're well known, don't go traveling at the moment. And something happening in the West End of London where I feel there could be a fire, or the West End, the centre of London gets closed down. And a sports personality is arrested for domestic violence. I know that doesn't sound like a prediction, but whoever it is, it's like a huge shock. Like, I know there's certain sports personalities that everyone knows or expects. This is like a big shock. And like not let out of prison or something like that. It's like big. That's what I want to say around that. All right, guys, that is beyond this for this week. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. I'm sorry I missed last week. Oh, a few announcements before I sign off. Readings are available for July. I think there's 3 or 4 readings available. Sorry, January. 3 or 4 readings available in January that are still up and available. The Embody workshop is the Embody mentorship, which is a 12-month program of mentorship, either one-on-one or group, is available and has been released. I will include the link to book for that here. I also am going to include the link to sign up to my email, because if you are not paying attention to your emails, and check your junk mail, please. If you're not signing up to your emails, then you are missing out on the specials. You're missing out on the workshops. You're missing out on so much. So sign up to my emails. The 25th of November, I have one of my 75-person evidential mediumship events. It's like going to the theatre and watching a medium work. You get that opportunity. It's 50 Australian dollars to watch me work, opportunity for a reading. I do about 10, maybe 12 readings during that period of time. And it's a great collective way to experience healing. All right, my loves. I'm Matilda, and this is Beyond This.